Well, a very good morning. Thanks for clicking on to the Monday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. A new work week, a new, well, nothing different really with regards to the weather. We're entering now the second week of April, and yes, it's still myself. I happen to shave, of course. It's that time of the year now where it's time to get the beard off. We're out of winter now, I think, and I have to use the word I think because you just never know, given what we've seen over the past couple of months. And believe it or not, actually, we actually had our first barbecue last night, and I know what you're saying, typical Scottish style, the sun comes out, it's April, time to get the taps off, as they would say here in Scotland, and the barbecue out. Well, yeah, it wasn't exactly warm as such, but it wasn't cold either. We dodged a couple of showers, but we just had this bright idea during the day yesterday. Do you know what? If it's going to be dry, we'll have a barbecue, and that's exactly what we did. We had a great time. So we're kind of stuck in this kind of stuck weather pattern, kind of benign at the moment, where it's a very blocky weather pattern. It's going to maintain itself actually over the next wee while, really. You can see here as we kind of quickly scoot through the GFS, we're kind of in no man's land here at the moment with regards to weather systems. We do have one coming in, encroaching from the west, that kind of triggers off plenty of April showers, especially if there's any sunshine penetrates down to the surface. We start to kind of bubble up the atmosphere. It's that time of the year now where in the sunshine we kind of stir up the thermals, so to speak. But you notice here that this area of low pressure kind of comes in, gets deflected to the south because of this blocky area of high pressure to the north. This area of low pressure then develops here, and that becomes an enhanced rainmaker in the day tomorrow here for pretty much all of England, Wales, parts of Ireland. It's still dry across the north in Scotland, but you notice here we're going to have that kind of cool nagging easterly wind coming in with the position of that low to the south, high pressure to the north, and as we go through the day tomorrow, that moisture is going to track further and further north. We've got a pretty pesky large area of low pressure down across the southwest of Europe. If you notice, high pressure over the north of Europe, keeping things cool. What a cold April it's been so far. What a cold March it's been, and what a cold spring overall it's been up in this part of the world here. Folks are probably sick and tired of winter, but it's just one of those years, I'm afraid, where winter just does not want to let go of certain places. But then get yourself down to the Middle East, subcontinental Asia. We've been talking about midsummer heat down here, and I will have an article later today with regards to the heat down across South Asia. So you notice here as we go through the day on Thursday, we remain in this kind of nagging easterly airflow. The good news is, however, it's no beast from the east. You notice the air mass is nowhere near cold enough to deliver a cold easterly flow. But of course, as those winds travel across the North Sea, pretty much coolest time of the year now for the North Sea waters, you drive that wind across it and it will feel quite cool in that easterly flow. You might want to have a light jacket on in exposure to that easterly wind here, but generally speaking it's a fairly quiet affair. Then we've got more moisture comes up from the north here as we go towards next weekend here. These areas of low pressure, if you notice, there's nothing really to them. They're not particularly deep, and really what they're going to do is just going to continue to kind of trigger that kind of shower activity, maybe some longer spells of rain underneath those areas of low pressure. But in the grand scheme of things, we're pretty much dominated by high pressure, if you notice here. Let's have a quick look at the CFSV2 weeklies here and see what the 2 meter temperature anomalies are suggesting here as we go forward through the remainder of April and even into the month of May. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies first. And this is week 1. You can see here the big blocking area of high pressure. That is the reason why we've got these areas of low pressure kind of getting deflected to the south of the UK. We've got a kind of split flow in the jet here as it approaches the UK. Blocking area of high pressure redirects that jet to the south of the British Isles here, and hence why we've got this kind of boring weather pattern, if you notice here. But it is good in the sense that we've not got one low after the next. We've got plenty of sunshine in the mix, as well as kind of cloudy days, but not an awful lot of rain, especially as we go towards the latter part of the week and into next week, and beyond that. It looks as if high pressure is going to really kind of keep things settled. You can see here, by the time we get out to week 2, day 8 and 4, 14, which of course takes us out between the middle and now the second half of April. We've got that blocking area of high pressure firmly established over Northern Europe, and then as we go towards the latter portion, you notice here low pressure is very much not the dominant factor. It is high pressure, so that is good news, and it may lead to some very pleasant mid and late April days, but also under clear skies at night. Frost is quite possible here. So let's finish off today's video by looking at the 2-meter temperature anomalies here, and you can see here week 1 slightly warmer than normal, if you notice here, and probably the reason for that is with low pressure to the south, we're kind of pulling up a little bit milder air. But like I said about that easterly wind, we don't have a cold source region, so it's not going to feel cold. It's going to be cool probably. But you notice here that of course we've got a very, very warm Central Europe, so those easterly winds are coming off a warm continent, but of course they're cooled as they cross over the North Sea. So nothing desperately cold, but like I say, a kind of nagging cool. It's very interesting to see how the modelling is now showing a warm second half of April. We will see how warm that's going to be, but it could turn very interesting during the second half of April after such a cold start. It might be interesting to see how this April really winds up as we go forward here. So that's this here takes out to the 22nd through the 29th of April, so that takes out to the end of April. It goes from very warm to modestly warm, and let's wait and see what happens. But there is still the good news is, folks, there is plenty of drier weather on the mix here and on the cars here. Let's have a just kind of, while we're talking about the subject of moisture and rainfall, let's have a very quick look at that. And you can see here this is week 1, wet across England and Wales, primarily between Birmingham and London. It looks as if the wettest anomaly is very wet down across the southeast of Europe, if you notice here, or southwest of Europe, sorry. Then as we go forward here, we start to enter a prolonged dry spell, and that is something that we will watch. Now there is a lot of water in the ground at the moment, but if we do get a very dry period now between now and the end of April, soils get a chance to dry out. We'll watch how that maybe interacts with May and June with regards to the atmosphere, and of course with regards to the front end of the upcoming warm season. Believe it or not, the summer forecast will be issued on the 1st of May, so do stay tuned for that. So hope you have a great Monday and a great day. Bye for now.